Dear Diary, it is February 21st, Friday. I've actually did record, I think a week back, and I just forgot, I guess, or didn't get a chance to post it on, So now about a week has gone by and I'm like, forget it. Let me just record a new video because so much has happened. So we're finally, hopefully, we'll get a foster daughter soon next week. And so there are a lot of rules, so I'm going to try to make sure I follow them. Like, there can't be pictures and information up on social media and stuff like that. So I'll make sure I'll just utilize these diary entries to be more of talk about frustrations that I've come across and feelings and stuff like that. Oh, kitty in the window. Kitty in the window. Anyway, so we've been approved, what, almost a month? And we've gotten 3 phone calls. This is, I think, the 4th. The first one, I was really hesitant because the first one I asked a lot of questions. I went to the school and I had to get enrollment paperwork and yada yada. So by the time I said yes, it was too late. No problem. Second one was supposed to be a boy that, yeah, anyway. And then it turned out to be 2 boys. And then I just didn't think it was the right match. The third one was 2 girls. They were placed already by the time that I had my social worker reach out to them. So I guess I've learned a lot in this process so far, and I'm only starting. And I do have to say, this whole process, adopting through the county, is such a confusing process. Because one, there's no like dummy's guide to fostering through county, because one, every county could be different. I'm sure every state has different rules. Like, for example, in LA County you don't have to lock up the liquor, but in OC County you do. So just some small difference, but nevertheless there's differences. So, and there's ways like you can go directly through the county and then through a FFA. Yeah, basically an agency. So a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you go through just the county? Because I joined all these groups on Facebook and ask for advice and read people's stories and stuff like that. So I did. Like, originally you have to. So you apply through the county and then they get back to you. You have to kind of watch videos and learn things, do training. And then it comes down to, they ask you, do you want to go through an agency or are you going through us? And what the county told me is that it's most likely faster with an agency. And I'm like, okay, well, at that time we're all gung-ho, wanted to go and get this started and, you know, get a kid. So I said, okay, let's go through an agency. And they give us a list, and then I kind of did research on the agencies, and I picked one, and we feel that that's like the biggest one, and even the county person said that's a good idea. So I was like, okay, cool. So we went through this. So I found out I actually submitted the paperwork with this agency a day before my birthday in April. And that's why I was like, oh, we started in March, because that's when I was kind of working with the county and stuff like that, like the initial process. So it took us from April all the way to this month to get approved. So definitely not a short process. There's lots that need to be done. So, I mean, I could make another entry about that. But right now, I kind of just want to focus on current situation So I'm learning a lot about the difference between agency and county. And, you know, and I'm sure everyone's experience, even, you know, if they do go through the same agency as me, it could be different. So I feel pretty lucky. My agency social worker, she's really nice. I so far like enjoy working with her. I mean, of course, I feel like I have a lot of suggestions for the agency, and I don't think it's, you know, necessarily anyone's fault that it's not being done the way I wish it's done. I just feel like everybody probably gets so busy, and once they jump into a job, they probably don't, like, because that's how it was for me before. You don't have time to, like, hey, this is a better process, and let me fix it for you, because it's just a lot of work. Anyway, because my point is, I wish they, like, okay, you're approved, here is kind of like a manual or like a thing to follow what you need to do for certain kids. Like, oh, if you receive a kid 0 through 4, this is kind of what you need to do, 5 through whatever you need to do. Because I get it. Like, typically when you take a kid in, you have to take them to the doctors, and you have to take them to a dentist, get a health checkup. Like, that seems, you know, pretty straightforward to me. But then now I'm hopefully getting a 5-year-old who will be going to kindergarten, which it's like, wow, like, I don't know any process for schools. So luckily, when we had a close call last time, I did go to the school and get enrollment paperwork and all that stuff. And somebody on the Facebook group just suggested me, like, oh, by the way, you have to, like, make sure you get ready. You have to get the school kid enrolled within 24 hours. So, like, they were saying they had a crash course, so make sure, like, I'm prepared. I'm just like, okay, 24 hours. So it's, like, ingrained in my head. So I guess now, you know, the county social worker is saying, you know, no big hurry. But my agency social worker is like, no, it's county rule that you need to get the student enrolled within 24 hours. And I'm like, okay, I don't have a problem with that. I'm ready to go. But they kind of wanted me to spend more time with this little girl, which I have no problem. But then they started making me feel like I'm inadequate. And I try to explain to them, I'm happy to keep her home for 2 days with me, Monday, Tuesday, and then take her to school Wednesday. But they're like, well, no, the rules, you got to enroll within 24 hours. So I'm like, I get that. But you just said you also want me to bond with her more, spend more time with her. And it just, unfortunately, my job, which people don't understand, is not a typical job. It's not a 9 to 5. It's not at a company where I could just request time off just like that. My work is, I'm a caretaker for my niece and nephew, and I can't just take off. I mean, maybe in a year or two, you know, my niece is older, my nephew can probably go to after school care, you know, then it's workable. But right now, I mean, I've explained to them, like, I cannot. I've, you know, through the home interview process, they've been here 4 times. I've talked about how, like, every time I talked about taking care of my nephew, my niece after school. So in the afternoon, I'm just not available. Not that I don't want to, but I'm just not, like, at least not at the moment. So when she asked me that if I could take a couple days off, I just feel like I'm inadequate because I have to say no. So luckily, the people in the Facebook groups are really supportive. They're like, oh, you can't take time off. They can't make you. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, appreciate, you know, people agree with me or whatever. But it just, the whole, like, okay, supposedly you have this rule. And I searched online. Like, I was, like, hour on end searching online. I even read through the DCFS manual, the U.S. Department of Education. I read through foster care law for the education for the children. Like, I read through all these things. They all just say the kids have the right to be immediately enrolled. none of it states what the time frame is. And I kind of get it if they're like older kids, middle school, high school, like, you know, if I keep them too long, they're going to miss out school lessons, but she's in kinder, you know. If she misses out coloring and shapes and number, I'm happy to teach her at home. That's not the issue. The issue is me bonding with her, making her feel comfortable. I mean, I thought that's the whole point, right? I'm not obviously doing this for the money. And to be honest, the money's not enough. Like, I just spent the last couple of weeks collecting, buying everything for a baby, and now I can't use any of that. I'm actually donating it in a little bit to a mother in need. I'm actually glad. I feel like, oh, that was actually the purpose of me getting all this stuff, is to pass it on. So anyway, going off on tangent. So I just feel like I don't like all these uncertainties. Ooh. There goes my, sorry. Anyway, I just don't like all these uncertainties, and I wish things are more uniformed and more like organized. I don't mind doing legwork. I don't mind figuring things out, but when I'm just like being told by two sides and like, you better do this, oh well, don't worry about it. Well, you better do that, and don't worry about it. It's like, do I worry? Do I not worry? Like, I'm a worry wart, but like and it's not a new resolution. It's been something I'm trying to work at, is I'm going to let go of the little things I can't control, because I'm already a worry wart. I don't need to add things to my plate. I need to take things off my plate and just have the mindset of, let's just go with the flow. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I got a suggestion from the county social worker to call the school. So I'm going to call the school and ask and see what's up, if they can give me some more advice. And I just hope all parties know I'm trying to do what's best for the child. I think that's the whole point, right? So anyway, I will check back in as soon as I can. This weekend, we're getting a bunk bed, and we're going to put that together. Anyway, Jiggles Mail signing off.